Hello guys, welcome to the episode 8 of this series. We'll be talking about CSS. So on this series now, on this episode, we'll be talking about CSS rows and columns. And rows and columns are what make up a layout on our web page. So if you want to create a layout on our page, we need to determine the rows and the columns. We can see now from these settings we have this one now. This is a row like this, and this is a column. Rather, this is a column. From this point to this point is a column, but down like this is a row. It is a row. It is rolling down. It is a row. So we have one column. This is one column. How many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we have 9 or plus like that. This is a row. One column by rows. So this one is not. This is just a default for every element without a style. It's default for everything. But if you want to assign this to make it, maybe we want 3 columns. 3 columns instead of this one column that we have. We want 3 columns. We can do it using our layout systems. So in CSS, we have 2 common layouts that we normally use. 2 common layouts. So the first one is called grid. So we call it the grid systems. So this one is just the 3-dimensional of the layout. 3-dimension, you work with 3-dimension. That means we can give an x-axis, y-axis, and also the z-axis. The z-axis means that whenever we are having on anything that we have on horizontal and the vertical, we can only divert between it. The center, we can get the center element and give it a different size entirely. That's what that one means. So we're going to give you a default something now. I just imagine of 0, a padding. So we know that, and box size, border box. Okay, that one is set. So for us to do this, let's take care of our H1. Our H1 now, we'll say, let's extend our H1 down. So I'm going to use margin top. So margin top of 20 pixel will be okay. 20 pixel. Then we should give it a font size. A font size of 20 or 22 is okay. So let's make it a text align of center. It should be in the center. Center form. Let's see what we have on the web page now. So we have this. We're having this. So this one is making a one column. This is one column, and when it comes to one column, there's a name that is given to it, display block. So let's see how it looks on default. So come here, try to inspect the body. Okay, so we inspect the main character here. Okay, the container here. Let's inspect the container. So the container here, so that div, this one is taking a solid of this. Remove it. Okay, I've already removed it. Okay, display block, which is one column block, roll down. All the elements should roll down. So let's take care of this now. So for us to use any of the layout system, maybe Flexbox or Grid. Now I mentioned 2 common one is Grid and Flexbox. For us to use it, we need to make sure that our display is shown. So let's come to our container here. So container, I think there's container. So in the container here, we say okay, display now. display should be grid. Make it grid. You say that this is not changing. Yes, because we've not monitored how the columns and rows will appear. This is the default, which was one column. So now let's get the properties of the column now. For us to get the properties of the child column, you know this is a parent. We say okay, grid template columns. So we'll be using grid template columns. So this one now, to use this one now, we can use any measuring system, pixel or fractions or percentage. We can use any, but to be on the server side, it's always good to use fraction. So you need to so here we can say okay, one fraction. So one fraction now in 3 places it will divide into 3. The content of the page will be divided into 3. So we see something like this. Let's check it out. Can you see? We have 3 columns. It's well done. The rows are automatically, so you don't need to show that one. So, but if in case we need the row, instead of grid template column, it will now be grid template rows. Something like this. But we don't need it for now. So no, we don't need it for now. But let's see. If we check here, we see that some of this content, there is no space between them. There is no space. Like the ending of this one is joining with the beginning of this one. So let's give it a space. So to give a space, we normally use gap. You mention gap like this, it will work. So we can just give a gap of 20 pixel. We see that something has changed. Can you see? It give a gap of 20 pixel. We're having this space here, there is space. So this one, the space is okay now. So let's give you some design to the column now. Let's give some design to the column. Okay, column is named column. Okay, so design to this column now. Just give the background color of I think F2. Yes, F2 will work. Then what can we give it again? We can just give it a padding. That is the padding of a padding of 10 pixel, right? 10 pixel is okay. Then the text should be what? To be center, no matter the size. Text align should be center now. So now we're having this. Can you see? Having this now. So now we use grid to control 10 child elements. But on a Flexbox we can't use that because this is 3 fraction here, 3 fraction here. So this is what makes grid 3-dimensional. That is, we can control anyhow it is. This is the vertical axis, the horizontal axis. It means the x-axis. The x-axis means that okay, any component here we can change the style. We can change it with grid systems. So let's see how we can change this first column 1 and this column 1 the last. Let's see how we can do that. So here we'll come here. For us to do this one, we can use CSS property that is called first. Is it first? Yes, I think it's first child. Yes, first child. Can you use it? First child. This one means that we should pick the first child that comes with this column. So here now we can just name it here grid column. Once you change the properties of its own, want to focus on this one. Instead of using template is for the it's for the parent, while the column is for the child. I want to change it. So here we are having 3. We want to make sure that it start from 1 and it also end at 3. So now, so we have this. It covers 2 columns, something like this. The first one, we have something like this, which is looking great. It's looking great. So now the last one too, we can control the last one to be, it's okay, column, let's say last child. Now the last child should be, I want the last child instead of 3, because the 3 stop at the end, beginning of 3, like this one start at the beginning of 3, but I want it to stop at the ending of 3. Instead of having a column of 1 on that space of the child, I want it to occupy it. So I will say, okay, start from 1 and end at 4. So there's no element that will occupy that 4. Just come back. We still control of the whole system. So this is how it works. So now we are not seeing the ending of this. Let's give a padding of 20 to the parent of container. Let's just give a padding system of 20 pixels. I think this one will be okay. So able to see, this is how it looks. This is looking great. This is looking great now. So now let's try to increase the row. Now see, this is not looking good on it. It's not looking good. Let's modify it to make it look good now. So the first thing we need to change here is that we're repeating ourselves for these first fractions. The fraction is not defined. We didn't mention any of the pixels that it should contain, which is not looking good. We can come here and modify it like this. Instead of mentioning fraction in 3 or 6 times, you can just use the keyword of repeat. How many times do you want to repeat it? The first count is 3. Now once you repeat it, the something should take what? FR, 1 fraction. Come to the something, we see something like that. The same thing, nothing has changed. So now let's see what we can do to this. Now the fraction, let's give the fraction of a minimum of 100 pixels. Just call me minimax. Minimax is a function here too. A minimax of 100 pixel, then comma of 1 fraction. Let's see what we have here. So this is what we have. That each of them will have 100 pixels. 100 pixels. 100 pixels. So let's see what we can do here too. If we look very well here, we see that the whole of this one is too small. It's just taking a default of 1 fraction too. So let's try to change this one. Let's come to the parents now. Let's define the row 2 here. There's a grid template of rows. So in the row now, you can see is the grid repeat keyword of, let's just remake it. How many row can we make it? Let's make it 8, and then each one should have 100 pixels. Now it seems this is looking good now. It's looking good right now. Can you see now? At the bottom we're having this one. So this is a complete website, a layout of a website. the layout of your website is complete. We have 2 columns on the first one. The second one we have 3. The last one we have 1. So instead of here, let's try to move this one that is here to make it a complete something. I think let's remove this one. If we remove this one, okay. So let's see. Yes. So we're having this now. This is looking good. But if you remember now, the first column here, we didn't define any of the something to it. It was a template. We just used a template of 100 pixels. But once it's the row, the first child to want it to define his own column. That's this. It should have his own rows too. We just come here, grid rows, grid row. Yeah, we can make it. We want it to spin from the first one down to 32. Let's spin down to 3. So we have this now. So it's taking 2 already. And you see, starting from the beginning of 1, ending at the beginning of 2, whereby the 3 is starting. So this thing is getting started now. We can still increase it more down to 4 if we like. You can just come here, make it 4. So on the 4 here, we can see here now. This is looking good. It's looking good now. It's decent. Very decent now. It's looking good. It's very big. Can you see? This is how to control it. When we are using any layout, we have to make sure that the thing is responsive on each of the screen I want it to be. So we can see on the mobile now, the thing is not looking so good. The elements are not looking good. Yeah, there's overlay here, overflow rather. There's overflow. This overflowing is not stable. So let's solve it and make it responsive. So let's check the template. Okay, is it good here? Okay, it's not good here too. So at this point of 768, let's make some changes now. Come here. On last episode I explained how to use media query. So here we'll be using media query to make it responsive. Max width of 768 pixel. So here on the container now, on a container, I will just change the system a little bit. Instead of having 3 columns, I will make it 2. And also we just reduce some of the gap to make it responsible there. So grid template now. Template of rows. Just make it a repeat function. No, I think I'm missing it out here. A repeat function of 2, and I will just use my fraction here to work out, and the gap here, let's just make the gap 10 pixels here. Yes, this one is good now. If you try to check it, wow, we're having something like this there. The reason because we've not changed the first and the last system. We've not changed the first and the last system. So we can come here and say, okay, column now. Column of the first child here. So I'll just measure the grid column of this one. I'll just make it to start from 1 to 3. The ending that the first one should occupy it. We should only have 1 column on the first. So 1, 3. To take control, exit. Now you can see it here now. It's taking control. Okay, it's not yet taking control. What happened? Save. One F out. Should be taking control. It should. What happened? Let me see here. For the container. It's not yet taking control. Should be responsive now. I think something is wrong here. Let me check here. Something is wrong. So last child too. The last child should have one. Column. Should take 1, 3. Should take control. Okay, yes, we have it now. I think the thing has not loaded before, that's why. I think we have it now. Yes. So if you go back to our mobile now, you see we have it here. It's taking 1. We're having 1. So we're having 1 on it now. You can just reduce the text here. The font size on the mobile here. Come here, H1. Change H1 to font size of 10 pixel. 10 pixel then. Yes. So what is overflowing here? Overflow. What are we having overflowing here? Okay. This one is not well catched. So the rows are not well catched here. I can just increase this one to 9. So I can extend down to it. Yes. It will mean 1 here. So here, instead of having 100 pixel, what do we have here? Here. Okay. Yes. Let's come here, define the width. Let's define the width. It should be, the width should be 100 pixel percentage. So they won't have overflow here. So we won't have it. So we won't have anything that's overflowing. So I'll just save it. So what do we have here? Okay, what is wrong? Okay, something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. Okay, let's come back here. It's okay like this, but still, let's give it the properties of center. Let's center it. Let's center the container. The container here, we can just container here. Let's just give it a what? Justify content of center. Everything should be in the center, so that nothing will be flowing out of boundary. Something that is flowing out. Let's save it. Okay, now let us see what we have here. So let's inspect. Okay, we're having it now. Everything is in the center, so you're able to see it clearly. Now this is how to do it clearly. So our website is set already. The layout of our website is set, is neat. Okay, we can just add one to this one so that the width of this one will be double. I think one here, just back here, and then let's see what we have again. Wanted to say in the center, yes, we're having this, and then the height too. So remember that this thing is more than 9, so that is why the rest is not taking 100 pixels each of the column. So let me just reduce by 11 or by 10. Let me put it by 10. So we have, okay, yes, we have it. So the, can you see the last one is just to one fraction, so it's not taking position of it. So this is how to use Grid to create a responsible layout. Maybe here you want to display a video here. Maybe you have a video, want to display the video in this column. So here too, we just want to show some other content, maybe images, and the footer of the website is just be here. The last something, maybe at copyright or rights deserved, everything can be here. So this is the most common layout of a website. So this is how to use CSS Grid to make a responsible website. So now let's move to how to use Flexbox. So when we are using Flexbox, unlike Grid here, you have to change this into Flex, and then we cancel these ones. We don't need these ones. The columns here, we don't really need them. Don't need them. The columns here, we don't need them. Because this one deal with 2 dimensions. We're operating with 2-dimensional layouts. Only the Y and the X-axis. So here you see that they are like this, they are like this, they are like this. So now you can just come here and say, okay, here now we want to make everything, the gap is there. We want to make a flex. Okay, let me open this column so that you can see the color. So you see the color here. So we see it here. Let's see the way it is. This is a flex. This is a flex. So on the flex, everything is just, we have close to 10 components aligned like this, and it has occupied the whole page. That is even giving us an overflow. So in this kind of components, Flexbox is not suitable for it. But in case that you just have like 3 or 4 components you want to display but side by side, you can use Flex. So another parties of this Flex is that we can determine the column and the rows too. So we will use Flex direction now. Flex direction. So under Flex, we have Flex direction, Flex wrap. So the wrap means once everything is out of the when the page is going out of the page, you should wrap automatically to the following line. So this here now automatically it should be on row like this. If you change it here, I won't have anything. But if I change it from here to column, everything will be one column. Can you see? Everything will be on one column. So this one will always be row. Automatically it is row by browser. So here you can say, okay, Flex wrap here. Once Flex wrap here, you can give it a wrap. So when you have wrap, can you see? Everything's aligned on this center, because I give it every element should be on the center. So that is why. If I go back on my mobile now, go back on my mobile. We see it here, wrap. So the wrap is working. You don't need to change it to anything. It is two-dimensional. Automatically when the something is full, it should be wrapped. Come back here, it is wrapped here, wrap. So this is how to use. So using this flex, we can't determine the child property. The only thing we can do more here, also we can use it to, instead of, let's go back to our media query container. On this container now, so in this container, no, okay, everything is together. Let me just, so in this container now, and let's okay, flex direction here. Everything is on row automatically. So we just say, so under here we have reversed. We can reverse some of our elements. So we can just come here and say, okay, row reverse on the mobile. Anything that is at the back should come to the front. So that's what it meant. Anything that is at the back should come to the front. So we're having it here. So 2, 3. So we'll come back here. We're having 1, 1, 1. Now we are not changing it now. We are not changing it on the mobile. I'm changing it on the mobile. So can you see? I see 1. 1 is supposed to come first. Now we are not changing it to 2. Here 1, 1, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3. So this is what it meant. And see here too. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Instead of having 1, 2, 3, you're having 3, 2, 1. We are reversing it. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, then 1. So this is how it works. So on our next episode, we'll be working with some like projects that we can use by writing a good layout, a responsible layout. Looking forward to see you there.